Hey, listen, appreciate you being on here. We are recording this. We'll send it out to you. I'm sharing this with real estate agents right now, and I'm going to say by extension lenders, and we'll get into how this can help you in your partnerships with your lenders and actually make this process and product that we're talking about completely free of charge to you. And that's if we have a lender participant who's working with you on this thing. The cost then is moved over to the loan officer, where it really is a loan officer's account, but the real estate agent is the true benefactor of it. Now, over the course of the past decade, we as partners, myself and Kevin Bilberry right here, who's the owner and the architect of MoveTube and Listing Booster, which is, by the way, has completely been redone and revamped. We started going down this road of learning how to program for smart televisions. With our Wi-Fi right now, we've gotten extremely fast speeds, and with all the fiber optics and everything that's going on right now, it's only going to get faster. So we have now moved on from the dishes over onto Wi-Fi, but this is changing right before our eyes. And the idea, guys, is we want to be ahead of the curve. We don't want to be behind the curve. If you've ever seen like a bell curve, you have your early adopters are the ones who benefit the most until you have saturation of whatever that technology is, and then it starts to slide down the other side. You real estate agents have an opportunity to be on the front side of this bell curve because people are cord cutting. If you're under the age of 30, you probably don't have cable. You certainly don't have satellites anymore. People are streaming because you can stream essentially free of charge for services that you're already getting. So when Kevin started looking at building out technology for smart television devices, when we started this whole thing, there was very few people doing it. Now that Kevin has really mastered it, there's an enormous amount of people, and it is the precise buying age generation who are in the sweet spot of the smart television revolution that's taking place right before our eyes. You've heard of Apple TV. It's wildly popular. You've heard of Roku TV. Maybe you haven't. It's bigger than all of them put together. We know what Amazon is, right? You look up Amazon on Google and hit images. They don't show you any rainforests. They show you that's how big Amazon is. So you have your Amazon Fire Stick, which again is a cord cutting tool where you're running everything not through satellites or through your cable, you're running them through your Wi-Fi. And then now you have your Android-based TVs. Everybody is cord cutting right now. This is the trend. And again, it's growing exponentially. So as a salesperson trying to be in front of people, why would you not take advantage of this technology for your personal and professional success? And there's enormous utility to it. So what Kevin has right now, a product called MoveTube. Realtor.com wanted to buy us. They wanted to buy essentially MoveTube. They wanted our technology for Realtor.com, but then they also were trying to sue us at the same time because they didn't like us using MoveTube because it sounded too much like Move Incorporated. You want to buy us? Do you want to sue us? But I digress. So anyways, MoveTube, which has a very recognizable sound and name, both inside and outside of real estate, which helps everybody. The other component is MoveTube right now is essentially the only technology that offers the services in this subcategory of smart television communication. So Zillow doesn't have it. They're not doing this. They have one, but it's rated really low and it doesn't have nearly the utility. You can actually communicate with you, the real estate agent, with a remote control from your TV. If I'm a consumer, I could, with my remote, I could hit a button and I can send you a message that you will receive saying, I am looking at your listing on a smart television right now. You'll know exactly who it is, where it's coming from, all the information, and they can say, I'd like to get more information on this. Using your television is another mode or means of communication. Nobody has any of this. We have not only, if you deal with your IDX component, we're not just an IDX, which it is, and Kevin will get into this, but we have listings all across the country, more in line with what Zillow has. But unlike Zillow, we don't want to take your proprietary content, your listings, and use those as a means against you to charge you a boatload of money. We don't want to do any of that. We're not doing any of that. Unlike Zillow, we have the access, but we want to afford the real estate agents to be the benefactors of this. So this is MoveTube, and there's a ton of more utility. We're going to keep this short to the point, and what I'd really love to get from you guys is any input from you in the chat box down below, any input that you guys have. And by the way, if you do want to participate with MoveTube today, we'll have something in there where you can go and get it. Just get it out front. It's $49 a month for you, and Kevin will tell you everything that you get, and it's unbelievable. If you want to work with a mortgage lending partner, then the mortgage lender pays for it. And then the service comes free to you because what they're going to do is they want to work with your partners. And it's a slightly different product for a loan officer than it is a realtor, but all the functionality is the same. So the links to that will be in the chat. But with that said, let's just start kicking the tires of this thing and see what it looks like. And again, your participation, any questions you have, please put it in the chat because that helps all of us. Kevin? Knock it out of the park.
All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show everybody our most popular version. This is on Roku. As Brian mentioned, Roku is by far the most popular streaming TV device that's being used by young people, but actually our largest demographic is 50 and up.
Wow, that's
We
interesting.
find all of them use Roku. It's just kind of it, even for those of us that have cable, I have cable, it's included, but there it is, Spectrum TV. I get all my cable through Roku, so I don't have to deal with boxes and all that good stuff. So, but let's go ahead and get into MoveTube. So I'm using a little software.
It's worth pointing out just real quickly, guys. It's worth pointing out what you're looking at is what Roku looks like on your TV. If you use Roku or Apple, this is as it projects exactly on your television in your house or your client's houses.
So I'm going to go ahead and go into MoveTube now. I have MoveTube installed on the homepage of MoveTube.com. If you do want to install MoveTube, and if you're not sure how to install MoveTube on whatever device you have, there's a nice little concise video on MoveTube.com on the homepage right underneath where you search properties that tells you how to install on every possible device that you would have. All right, so let's go ahead and open up MoveTube once I've got it installed here. It's going to give me some suggested cities. Now, I was just last looks like I was in Phoenix, so it remembers where I was. I was doing some searches in the Phoenix market. So these that have movie on them, these little movie banners, these are agents that actually have some relationship with us, mainly through Listing Booster. Is where they have an account, and what we do is we pull their listings into Listing Booster, and then we do highlight them, we feature them, and add a movie tag to them within MoveTube. So they do go to the top of the searches. So let's just go in here. Let's just go to Phoenix. Now I can search it. I can hit the search. I can go to any particular market in the country, but it remembers where I was searching. So just got my little shortcut there right away. I'm going right into Phoenix. And then you can see these here at the very top have the movie display on here. Now, once I'm in here, I can get in here and I've got all these different filters. So for example, if I want to do minimum bedroom 3, I can do that. I can do price range, etc. I've got some of those set in here. I'll just lower it a little bit. You'll see I'm getting more options here. Now let's go ahead and go into one of the listings. I'm just going to click OK on this listing here. I've got all the pictures real nice in here. I can press up and play that movie that we talked about. Only listings that are tied to agents that have accounts with us get the actual movie option. It is a slideshow, and I'll talk a little bit more about that. But I can scroll right and left and get all the pictures of the listing.
With a remote from your television.
Yes, with the remote. And when we first launched this thing, we didn't know, it was a thing. I just became a fan of Roku. I'm like, can we put real estate search on this? And we pulled it off, but we immediately were getting popular with consumers. People were finding us in the MoveTube in the Roku world and installing it. We were at the top of our channel category, pretty much always top 10, which is kind of like Google. You're ranked on popularity, etc. We did reach out to Roku and ask them, why are we at the top? What's keeping us there? And they basically said we're popular. That's how many average installs we're getting. Somebody's going to probably ask how much traffic you get to this thing. I don't have exact numbers of how many people are going in every day, but Roku does give us numbers of installs. So we're averaging about 5 to 1,000 installs a week organically, where people just find us. If you search real estate, if you just put the real estate search in Roku, MoveTube is always number one. So I've got all the MLS data here, and then I've got the agent branding here. This agent has a Listing Booster account, and this one is through Linda Deering with Geneva Financial. He's tied to a lender. All right. I've also got, I can send this listing to my significant other if I want by just pressing that. I put in the email address once and then it saves it. I can just continuous ones. I can just keep sending from my TV remote. And then we have mapping, which is pretty right here. So I'm going to go to satellite view.
And you notice Kevin you're doing this with your remote. I saw it in your right hand. So you're not doing this on a computer. You're doing this on a TV right now.
Yeah. It's one of the feedbacks we get from consumers is, man, I wish I would have known about this sooner. Or I wish I would, just because, believe it or not, when we first launched it, some people were like, well, isn't that going to be difficult with a remote? It's going to be kind of too cumbersome. It's not. It's actually easier. We get people telling us, man, once they got into this, they didn't want to go back to their phones and computers. especially older people, because even my age, you get used to seeing these pictures real big. You don't want to go back to looking at it on a phone again, or even a computer. The other benefit too is that you can actually search properties as a family. Real estate search really is a family endeavor right now for most people. If it's a husband and wife or couple, whatever, whoever it is, they kind of do it on an individual basis. But here, everyone can kind of sit back, chill out, and just do this real big on a big screen. Looks great on a projector screen, by the way. Done that. And we've also added an entertainment aspect to it. You can actually plug in the music that you want. We have a default soundtrack on this thing that just plays roughly about 30 songs. So, just relaxing music. But we decided to swing for the fences since we were talking about baseball. Can we get real music in here? So we reached out to all the major music carriers, and iHeartRadio loved it. They hit us back and like, we want to participate in this. So we do have an iHeartRadio plug-in on this. That's real easy to do. You just go back out of the home screen. You can go into iHeart, and then you can choose your music. So I'm going to show you guys. We were talking about the movie aspect. I'm going to show you how you can utilize this. And, agents ask us, what's the main benefit am I going to get out of this? And the first thing I'll tell you, it's definitely on winning listings. We've got some nice, some funny, some cool stories about agents winning listings just because of MoveTube. Sellers do love this thing. You can also use this in your open houses. I've got a local agent here where I'm at in Florida. He goes in and does the, he likes jazz. One of these jazz stations here. I'll just do this one here. The first one that pops up. Okay, so now I've got some jazz music playing. Now, here we go. Let's go into one of these listings we were just in. All right, so imagine you have this in an open house. All you have to do is press up on the remote, and this will start playing an animated movie on the property, and it will loop it over and over and over again. So it'll play the entire property. Then at the end of the property, it'll actually show your branding with your lender's branding if you're tied to a lender.
All you.
And we have agents that use this in their open houses. They just play this all day long. They're like, this is really cool. It's a great setting for my open house, and it's a really cool addition to do. You can also, if you are in a brick and mortar office and you want to display it in your office, you can do the same. Actually, you can, we've got another feature back out of here under favorites. I can play a favorites movie. So what I do is I favorite. So in this case, I've got 3 properties favorited. So I just hit the play button right here from this screen, and then it'll start playing all of the listings I have favorited over and over again.
And now, Kevin, just real quickly, can I, if I'm a real estate agent, because this is IDX, if I'm working with Remax and I want to feature 3 listings that I like that say Berkshire Hathaway has, can I go ahead and feature those as well?
Yeah, as long as anything.
Okay, so like your IDX, what happens is it gives you the branding on these things as a real estate agent. It works like an IDX. I just want to jump in because this totally excites me. It really does. This right here is just, $50 a month. My God, why wouldn't we do this? Okay, but here's where I find this exciting, and I've looked into this. I would go ahead and get this. I would feature my listings, the listings in my office. If you're a broker, every listing you have in your office. And then here's what you do. There's places around town where you could put these TVs. You could go spend $200 on a Roku TV, and you can go into any establishment you want, and you can say, hey, can I put a TV up here? I just want to show listings in the area while people are waiting. Think nail salons. When you're waiting, think where you get your hair cut. Think where you get your car washed. Think where you spend too much money on getting a cup of coffee. We have a place called Pure Grain across the street from us right now. We asked them, hey, could we put a TV in here to show listings? They're like, totally, absolutely. Now I went into it's called a Seven Flags or Six Flags car wash place. It's where they do like the detailing and they drive you through and all that crap. I was sitting in there, and they had where the cars were going through, like the kids, they had these little water guns. You could shoot the cars that are getting washed with all the big mops on top and all that crap. But then they had a sitting room. So if you're getting your car detailed, it can take you a half hour, 45 minutes. And so so they've got TVs in there, they've got games in there, they got magazines in there. They try to make it comfortable to keep people in there. And I'm like, damn, how long do we have these people captive? It could be upwards of 45 minutes. These are people who are actually paying money to get their car washed. These are people who have disposable money. They're not washing their cars themselves. They care about shit because they're getting their cars washed. They're getting them detailed. In short, they are the perfect demographic of people who buy and sell homes. So I went over there. I said, hey, can I talk to your manager? I said, yeah, manager came over. I said, how many people you think come through this car wash a day? So he goes, we get about 1,000 every day of the week, a little more on the weekends. I said, are you kidding me? You get 1,000 people who come through every day? She goes, yeah. I said, if I buy a TV and I mount it right there, and all I want to do is show real estate that's for sale in the local area, it's good for you because people gives them something to do while they're waiting around. You don't have to buy more magazines necessarily. It's just another thing to benefit your business. And I'll buy the TV, I'll mount it, I'll put it up here free of charge. And the lady, she called the owner of the company. She goes, the owner wanted me to let you know that we've got 7 more locations. We have 7 other Bay Area locations with similar numbers. So I had 8. That means 8,000 people a day staring at me, my listings, with the ability to communicate with me if they're thinking of buying and selling a home. Now, this is working without me, and this is something nobody else is doing. It's the bell curve approach. It's getting ahead of the technology. Nobody in your market is doing anything that remotely looks like this. No, nobody. Now, if you did this, would it benefit you? Well, here's something to consider. Just yesterday, the Mortgage Bankers Association, which is the independent mortgage bankers equivalent to the National Association of Realtors, just came out with a survey that said they expect property values to actually dip 9% before the end of the year. Properties are going to get a 9% haircut. We're also going to see rates, as we are right now, starting to level off and come down because of all the talks of the recession right now. That's putting the Fed back in aggressive mode where they're going to be buying more mortgage-backed securities and increasing their balance sheet. What that means to us is rates come down a little bit, property values drop as a means of trying to keep us out of what we see as an inevitable recession. You have panic start to set in with homeowners where they want to sell at the top of the market. People have been vacillating on the fence for the past 6 months, a year. Oh, let's get out while the getting's good. And then you're going to have buyers jumping back into the fold because rates have come down and property values are now a little bit more affordable. So this means that maybe late spring, summer, and definitely by fall, you're going to have an opportunity as a professional real estate agent to position yourself ahead of the gang. Okay? Now, if people are thinking about selling houses, why not put your mug and all your listings in places your competition isn't doing so your marketing doesn't get diluted by other people? When you're marketing on Zillow, great. You and 500 million other real estate agents are marketing on there, and I guarantee you they're clicking on 50 other real estate agents. And when they do that, they're capturing their information as well. Zillow's selling your information to multiple agents, which means you have a percentage of a chance of winning that potential listing or buyer over. When you're doing this with us, you are competing against yourself and only yourself because there will be nobody else on these TVs but you, every means of communication to contact you, your company, and any listing you want. Again, I just wanted to diatribe this because this one is a no-brainer. And at $50 a month, my God, why wouldn't you do it? A couple $100 investment and a couple of TVs here and there, and just it's baiting a hook and letting it sit. Eventually, you're going to catch fish. So, anyways, that's my 2 cents in here. I just see this as such a great chance for you guys. And again, if you're working with a lender, if we get a lender that you know who would be interested in working this system with you, we can tell the benefits to the lender as well. We can show them how this helps them, and then it comes at a cost of nothing to you. So anyways, Kevin, I didn't mean to jump you there, but I find this really, really exciting.
Yeah, definitely, man. I mean, the thing that excited me the most about it when we got it live is the consumer excitement, and that's the bottom line. There's so many shiny objects out there and things that agents and loan officers buy into and stuff. But, you look at something like a consumer is never going to see the value in that, but that is not the case with this. Consumers do like it so much. And we actually built an IDX. I mean, not to go down that road, but we did build an IDX product on this. So you can actually even have your own channel if you're interested in that. It is really cool. And it is a difference maker. Like I mentioned before, matter of fact, I just talked to an agent yesterday close to me here in Orlando. She said her seller got really excited about it and she went and set it up over there. And she's like, yeah, I was demoing how it works. And it's just, this is just putting me in an area, just another avenue and reaching a different audience that I'm not already reaching. already. When sellers see it, yeah, they want to be on there. We've actually had some agents come to us because a seller found it. It's like, hey, my client, I didn't even know what this was, and my client uses this on smart TV and was letting to know how I can, is my listing going to be on there? So the agent reached out to us. How do I do this? How do I get the listing over? I got a client that's wanting to be on there. So it will definitely help you win listings for sure. And that's always kind of the angle we go on it. And Listing Booster. So, to get on here right now, you do it through Listing Booster. Booster has a bunch of other tools besides this. It's just that we really started focusing on this because especially loan officers that use Listing Booster have been telling us that the realtors tend to see the most value and get the most excitement out of the TV. They're seeing the most value for themselves is a smart TV thing. So we actually, with that, we created a little feature called Listing Trailers, which are these little short 30-second videos on your listings. We take on your personal listing. It's got a look and a narration and a sound with as a movie trailer. And it features the fact that, hey, this listing is featured on TV. It's just something really cool to help you stand out on social media. All right. Do we have any questions? I know you wanted to keep this short, so I won't go much on a.
Yeah, we got, and by the way, any questions, you guys? There's so much more. We just don't want to take your whole day. If you're interested, we will certainly have a longer conversation because there's a ton more than this. All right, Brian White says, maybe I missed it, but how is this exclusive? Do you separate areas, Roku devices, IP addresses, etc., to create an exclusive market for agents and lenders? There's not. By the way, we're not selling markets. I want to be clear about this, Brian. This technology is exclusive to us. In other words, if you wanted a product that looked and behaved like this in real estate, the only place to find it is with movetube.com. You cannot find it with any other third-party technology-based vendor. They don't have it. Now, I will tell you this, Brian, a couple of things. I hear this with Listing Booster and lenders all the time. Well, then the market is saturated and this isn't going to work for me. That is categorically not true. We're literally launching this right now. This is the first time we've done it. You will be the first handful of people, if you choose to participate with this technology in the country. The other thing is, as Kevin said, and I think he kind of glossed over this a little bit, but you also have the capability of getting your own channel. You could have, the Brian White real estate channel. It's a channel that you would search on Apple TV. It's its own app, essentially. It's a channel that you would search on Roku. It's a channel that you would search on Amazon. You can get your own channel with every single listing and all this information. So that would be exclusive to you. And the strategy that I was talking about, if you're putting a television into a local shop in your area, it doesn't matter the listing. If somebody wants to communicate via text code, you can see right here with what you're staring at with Ron Hogan, with a QR code, with a phone number, whatever it is, they will all be branded legally and according to NAR. They're following NAR's guidelines. It will be compliant with everybody, but you will be the only person, the only realtor of record. Now, a couple of points. If you're a broker, a real estate broker, and you're trying to build your office, how would you like your competition to go get their coffee every morning and all they're doing is staring at your face at their coffee shop? Okay. That would be, if you want this technology, they got to go work with you. He says that to clarify, if a consumer is on MoveTube viewing properties, how does the system show our information and not others branding that are buying into the service? Okay. On MoveTube specifically, kind of picture this like a premier agent at Zillow, in a sense. So we have all the listings, we have all the information, we have the ability to generate leads and opportunities off of all the listings. But agents will claim their listings. Once you claim your listings, as Kevin showed you a moment ago, you go to the top of the search. So if somebody were to hit any given market, it's going to show the movies banner at the top. And essentially, the agents who have claimed their listings and are participating with MoveTube are going to be at the top of the search of any given market. And that will be not just you, if you're on MoveTube, that would be with everybody who's participating. Again, like with Zillow, if they have a premier agent, you'll go to the top of the listing. The other thing, Brian, is if you had your own channel, if you got your own channel, then everything would be you. Every single listing in your MLS would be to you. Can I IDX from Florida to get MoveTube? Vicky Dang, Kevin, and Brian, I hope that answered your question.
Yeah, let me just kind of summarize, I think, what you were trying to say. So on MoveTube, MoveTube is a syndication channel. It's a national portal. Most of our data in there is coming from ListHub, which is owned by Realtor.com. It's sent over with an Opcity phone number on it. None of us are fans of Opcity. We don't really want it on there. We are grandfathered in to where we can remove that if we have a relationship with the listing agent. So when you get your Listing Booster account and you are now tied into MoveTube, we remove that Opcity stuff and replace it with your branding, your phone number. So when people do call in, they're calling in you, and the branding is completely with you. So that's how it works on the MoveTube platform. You definitely want MoveTube because we get a lot of organic traffic. People just find us. Great for your sellers. Now we talk about Realty Stars, which is it's idxon.tv, idxon.tv if you want to have your own branded channel with your IDX feed. So I'm explain how this works. Roger Hogan, I got him up. He's a local guy here. We've got his listings on MoveTube, but Roger, of course, he promotes his own channel. He calls them his listers. He's like, yeah, when I get my listers set up, I go over there and I get my channel set up. I show them MoveTube, like, hey, a lot of people are organically finding this. It's a national channel, it's a national brand. We're going to feature your listings there, so you get some organic traffic and hitting it up. But if you're going to search the local MLS, I want you working, I want you in my channel. So he sets them up and shows them on that. And then he puts his buyers in here. So feedback we get from agents that have their own channel. One thing that, like I mentioned before, a lot of people, once they get into this environment, they really like it and they prefer it over the traditional phones or computers. One observation we've gotten from agents, and Roger would attest to this, is like, once they're in my world, now I'm pretty comfortable that they're not going to the Zillows, et cetera, because Zillow doesn't have this. Zillow's not on Roku. They're not going to be able to search on Zillow on Roku. It's not going to happen. So they're in my IDX. And why would they go anywhere else? Because this is the entire MLS. They're not missing out on anything. And by the way, this is an IDX platform. It does come with a website. So you get the channel, but you do get an IDX website with this. And Rogers, you can check out Rogers. I think it's rogerhogan.tv.
What are you paying for your IDX right now, guys? This will save you money. You'll get the TV component, and it will save you money for participating with an IDX right now.
It's a full-on website with the channel component. Honestly, I didn't even want to get into building websites. It's like, there's so many IDX vendors out there, but we just had enough agents wanting this. I love MoveTube, but I want my own channel kind of thing. So that's why we did do this. So it's $197 a month for your website and your channel, everything. It's the whole package. If you're an individual, if you come in as a broker at $395, you can have a whole office and then subsites for your agents and so forth. We have a lot of those. And actually, out of all the broker accounts, we haven't had one cancellation. We launched this about just a little over a year ago. And we haven't even been promoting it. It's just kind of, we get people here and there, find out about us and come in and sign up. But people love it. Got hit up by Friday. It's a broker up in Kansas City they've got their channel up in all their, especially in their waiting area and then all their TVs in their office. And they promote MoveTube and their local channel. They tell their sellers, your listing will be on this. We had another story, had a guy out in California, won the listing. Basically, the listing appointment, the gentleman asked him, like, what are you going to do any different than the next guy that I'm going to have over here? I'm talking to several agents, and he noticed he had a Roku TV. He's like, I'm going to feature a listing right there on your television. The guy goes, really? How are you going to do that? And he installed MoveTube, showed it to him. The guy was blown away. First of all, he's like, man, I didn't know this existed. I'm going to use this myself. But yeah, if you can you're obviously ahead of the curve. And long story short, he got the listing just because of this. So these are really cool things that you can do with the TV technology. And this technology is only going to continue streaming TV is just going to continue to grow. It's already out doing live TV. DirecTV just lost NFL Sunday Ticket. That's going to YouTube, which you have to have one of these devices to have YouTube TV. I think that's going to be the death knell of DirecTV, to be honest with you.
I run everything through my Spotify, Kevin. I don't, I was hesitant on this. I watch my local programming through Spotify, all the channels that I want through Spotify. And the cool thing
Roku?
is you can pick, through Roku, but I run it through my Spotify app for those on my Roku televisions. I don't go to cable at all anymore. And if you want to look at an old curmudgeon, that certainly is me. I don't like technology, but this is the direction people are going. And guys, you have a chance to be at the top of this. I want to let everybody also know here that I put in my phone number down here at 707-330-1272. You guys can write that down. If you have any questions about any of this, just feel free to give me a buzz. I keep my phone on all the time. If I don't pick up, don't leave me a voicemail. Send me a text message, or I'll just call you back, because I call everybody back. There's so much more utility to this. But again, I'll just take a step back here. $50, claim your listings, use this on your listing appointments. The business is going to start to pick up. 9% drop in real estate right now. Go to your local businesses and get, everyone talks B2B. Hey, let's have a B2B approach. This is your B2B approach. You work with your local businesses. And I always tell real estate agents and lenders, you want your business to get smaller, not bigger. You want to get small. Everyone's going big and impersonal. You want to take your sphere of influence and you want to own that space. Occupy it. You're not Zillow. We don't need to spam people. We want to get small with our business. You start working with your local businesses, putting televisions in there, and you reach out to these guys. There is business both with MoveTube, but also the opportunities with that small business that it's going to provide for you by giving them a service that's going to benefit them as well. This one's a no-brainer at the price point, guys. There's nothing like it.
Hey, can I show the listing trailer real quick?
Please do.
All right, these are 30-second little videos. So this goes along with the whole MoveTube thing and the TV stuff we're doing.
And these generate for you, so you don't have to put them together. They're kind of...
Yep.
In a market where anything goes, this listing may not last long. Or is it already too late? See this listing in its entirety on MoveTube.
And then branded to you. Is it a little cheesy? That's the idea. It's supposed to be a little tongue-in-cheek and a little fun. It's a little cheeky. But people buy from people who make them smile. I mean, in a world of parody, I'm going to work with who I like. And if you can make people smile, according to Jeffrey Gitomer, you can make them buy. So is this cheeky? Yeah, a little bit, but by design. And this is something that's auto-generated for you guys. Go ahead.
Sellers love it. It's great sellers love it. I hear that all the time. It's cool on social media. And without giving anything away, with AI, guess what? We're going to be able to, we're customizing all these with its own personal narration. This property located in Orlando, 3-bedroom, you can do that. So
that's cool.
Anyway, all part of the cool MoveTube stuff we're moving forward with.
Again, if you guys would like to learn more, make sure you just reach out to me, Brian Stevens at 707-330-1272. And if you want to jump in right now and you could do it, just listen. Right now, everyone's trying to find a competitive edge. Is there a learning curve? Of course there is with any technology, but we have time to lean right now because the industry is slow. This is a time to pick up a technology and become a master at it. You could do this right now and you could position yourself for when this market turns. It's going to turn sooner than later. And MoveTube is here to help you. And at the price point, why wouldn't you? Okay, Kevin, with that said, dude, totally appreciate this. I promise these guys would keep it short. Reach out to us and we'd love to see you. And grab the link in the comments. We'll talk soon, guys.
Thank you.
Ciao, man.